welcome to London News, Mother's Day. We're here in Melbourne as at Parliament House. Well, it's not really Parliament, it's a corporation. And the crowd here is protesting in relation to the lockdown. Now, it's obviously, the police have been very well behaved, but unfortunately, a woman got arrested, but I've seen her and witnessed her personally antagonising the police on the steps, and the rumour is, and I think I actually believe it, that she was a plant by the media to create some havoc, and it's worked quite well. So apart from that, everybody kept their space in a sense. The police behaved absolutely exemplary. They're here to keep the peace, and they did a great job. So the media really are the ones stirring the pot as usual. It's London News here at Parliament House in Melbourne on Mother's Day. Thanks for watching. Take care, Barry.
No other reason for this other than control. They are trying to control us. We must bring the people back. It is tyranny at its finest. I cannot recommend highly enough to everyone the importance of watching the ITNJ. There are 4 hearings on the weaponisation of the biosphere. The tribunal consists of people whose credentials are renowned worldwide. All of their information is being suppressed. Mandatory. Your consent is mandatory. All right? Everyone's consent is mandatory. Has been the thousands of children and elderly who are ill in Australia that have spent the last 2 months of their lives alone and frightened, feeling abandoned. They can't see their siblings, they can't see their families, because the government has terrorised us. They terrorised us and instilled fear. So we have children and the elderly and the ill who have died alone, and they have died in fear. Members of their families denied the opportunity also to pay their last respects at funeral homes. Funeral homes were threatened with $10,000 fines. My father-in-law passed away on the 26th of April. He was a very sick man and had many underlying issues, in particular respiratory. He was locked in a COVID-19 ward in Box Hill. No one could see him. The day he was released, the government has blood on their hands. So, now, the emotional trauma that this has caused on people denying us our basic rights will result in thousands of living in kinds of things going on behind the scenes. We've got some wonderful speakers here today as well. We all know something is wrong. We need to start researching, stop fear and be aware. Seek out the truth, and I reiterate, turn your TVs off. Turn them off. Now, the government is actually liable. The government is a corporation. So the government is liable and must be accountable for the tragic losses they have caused us under this pantomime known as COVID-19. Losses they have caused have resulted in suicide. Everybody here is entitled to sue the government. His family has depopulation. Depopulation is his plan.
Let us speak. We want words, not chanting yet.
Thanks, Jackie, for that wonderful introduction.
I want to just reiterate, this is for the police and their lawful obligation, not legal, lawful. You have to understand, when the oath of allegiance was removed in the courts on the 5th of September 2000, Rob Hulls, the Attorney General, who was charged by private prosecution, he misled the Parliament, and therefore the oath of allegiance was taken out of the courts. I got all the factual evidence, it's documented, it's been presented to every court nearly in this state, and also in other states, similar things. Western Australia pretty much succeeded from the Commonwealth in the 1st of January 2004 when they substituted the Queen for the word state and the governor. Now that is blatant treason, and there's an attempt to form a republic in Australia, and especially to separate Western Australia from the Commonwealth. And the WAM that said in 1990, when the UN gives us a mandate to become a republic, we can take over all private property and everything else. He's currently the Governor of Western Australia. Now in Victoria, Daniel Andrews was Chief of Staff to Rob Hulls in the year 2000. He has been charged pending criminal charges of treason and complicity in what Rob Hulls did, which renders the courts and every decision and judgment since the year 2000 invalid. That means that the Lawyer Rex saga is a sandpit fight. When you realise the police, who are under oath to serve Her Majesty the Queen, are filling the courts where they remove the Queen, they're complicit in the concealment and they can be found vicarious liability. This is the situation now. All police must adhere because you're not out of harm's way as long as the Nuremberg Code stands. And that's a precedent after the war. As a result of Luke Nicholson's declaration in early April, he made an offer for the all chiefs of the army to come on board by the 15th of April. Otherwise, we're under lawful rebellion with no fear or penalty under the Magna Carta, Section 61. And that law still applies. It's still up there in Canberra, outside the old Parliament House. And even the old royal insignia on the Treasury building is the correct insignia, not this kangaroo court one there, with the kangaroo holding the crown. That is not the lawful one. So the police...
No lockdowns, and then you say no lockdowns. And we'll go for about 30 seconds, really loud. Ready? No lockdowns! 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 I've got copies here for people if you want them.
Everyone, back off.
Government's regime. We are all just as at risk of having our rights stripped away one by one. We can't keep going like this. We saw what happened last time governments were allowed to control their people to the point that they were put on trains and led to the slaughter. Yes. So if you don't think that could happen here, just go and have a look through the pages of history, and history will be bound to repeat itself.
Spot on. It's happening.
There's one thing you have to understand. At the end of the day, we're all human. We all
Try and go around you. Well, that has been an interesting afternoon. A lot of people turned up today and had a pretty good time, and peaceful as well. And it wasn't actually a protest, it was just a demonstration of one's rights to express themselves. The lockdown is totally unlawful. They never made a law to say you had to stay in your home. Now, the police carried out their duties in an exceptional manner. They didn't interfere with anybody, but sadly there was a number of people there who protested and went up and deliberately stirred up the police One, in fact, was a female lady, and I witnessed her going up there. And on a number of occasions, she started abusing the police and stood up behind, tried to get behind them on the steps. Now, the rumour going around at the time, and sometimes rumours are fact, the media sent her up there because they needed some excitement. And as soon as she got arrested, which she well and truly deserved, she was taken back to the van. There was a skirmish to get good video of the police abusing people, so they say. Well, the police abused nobody because she was let go afterwards, and she was a plant. Now, Daniel Andrews no longer communicates with the federal government, which is another corporation, because they have succeeded from the authority of the federal government. They're now a complete private corporation doing their own thing. And he wants to be the first premier in the world, if you like, to have autonomous cars. Hence he's putting all those barriers up along the highways, which really, if you look in some cases, if the barrier wasn't there and you did have to swerve off, there was plenty of room to avoid getting damage to your vehicle. But he wants to be the first autonomous state in the world, if you like. So today was an expression of our rights and freedoms, which are really being removed. Thanks for watching London News, and just hang in there. It's now, as I said, Mother's Day, and in another 3 or 4 weeks, when the silly season is over, we'll be looking for venues and a jury, and these people who have committed the offences against the people, the men and women of the state and the world for that matter, will be brought before a jury of their peers in their own local location, and they will be charged. All the paperwork comes from the UK, from the international head office, and these people will face the jury and they will pay for their sins, as they say, and sins, of course, are crimes. Anyway, so thanks for watching again. Take care, and see you next time on London News. Bye for now. Thanks.